Hello everyone and welcome to the Ukulele Underground podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero. Joining me are Mr. Aaron, the voice, Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And Mr. Kahai, the legend, Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
Gentlemen, it is 1 p.m. On one of the Fridays. We do every other Friday a podcast, and then every other Friday that isn't a podcast Friday is going to be the Aloha Friday Live Jam. Today just happened to be a podcast, and I believe next week we have another podcast in a special time. It's going to be... I said 11 o'clock, right? Okay, 11 o'clock next week, a.m. 11 o'clock a.m. Hawaii time, okay? 11 o'clock a.m. Hawaii time. Next week, we have UK's very own Sammy Turton. So make sure that you tune into that. Harmonics extraordinaire. I'm so excited. I'm like texting with Sammy. I'm like, man, are you ready for like next week? And he's like, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm like, man, I have so much questions for you. You don't even know.
I know he's good at harmonics, but what I really want to know is what his optimal cart setup.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Oh, you know what I mean? Spoilers for next week. Spoilers. Yeah.
And in general, I'm against felt picks, but
save it. You gotta save all this stuff. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But we're collaborating on a song, for a future release, and some of the stuff that he was doing on that, I'm like, what? And he did it all one take. I'm like very, very impressed. I'm
you
like,
didn't have
how?
to do that in one take, but you did.
But you did, and it sounded great. He did this whole thing with I showed you guys yesterday. It's like a full chord harmonic with the melody line on top of it. I was like, how the heck do you do that? So. I'm excited for next week. So next week, Sammy Turton, 11 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Special start time, just to accommodate our friend over the pond, 2 ponds away, I guess, right? Just over this Pacific Ocean, and we got a Atlantic after that. So all good. Make sure you tune in next week. But gentlemen, it is a podcast. We were gonna do a jam for today, and we're like, I don't think, or concert or something. We're like, I don't think people would mind if we did a jam 2 weeks in a row and stuff. But you know what? We just wanted to kind of talk story today. We wanted to talk to you. That's what this is. Basically, we are live, so you guys can ask us questions live. You can use the live chat right now and type in your questions to us. Mostly ukulele. We know our way around this awesome 4-stringed instrument, so ask us ukulele questions. We know some guitar stuff. I guess you can ask us guitar stuff. Kahai knows some guitar stuff.
You're an actual musician.
We know some clarinet stuff. You guys want to ask us clarinet stuff? No, but just music questions in general. Ask away, and then we'll try to answer it as best as we can. I mean, we'll give you guys our opinions. We always say in the show, you guys got Q's, we got O's, we got opinions on your questions. So ask away, and we'll try to answer them as best as we can. I'll put in my 2 cents. These 2 guys will put in their 2 cents, and we'll come up with the best 6-cent answer just for you folks. So utilize the live chat. It doesn't even have to be about ukulele. We have fun in this show. You know what I mean? Not just ukulele all the time. We made sure of that. 2 weeks ago, we're like, this is gonna be a serious podcast or whatever. And right, we need laughter. We need some uplifting kind of conversations and just camaraderie. Like we're here and we make ourselves available. Let's kind of get to know each other, okay? All right, Kahai?
Yeah.
So give me the first question.
Well, actually, like the reason why we're doing this podcast is because we found something yesterday.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So actually to tee up the discussion that is about to happen.
Yeah.
The question really is what is the origin of your ukulele or lost ukulele Bible?
Yes.
And so like what is it and where did it come from?
Okay. So, all right, I'm gonna put my ukulele down. Let's sit down. It's story time. Gather around, kids. Gather around. All right. So, growing up, in Hawaii, of course, I was influenced by the really, really, really famous ukulele musicians here in Hawaii. One being Troy Fernandez. Kyle Creator Boys was everywhere. You turn on the radio, you couldn't, go 10 minutes without hearing a Kyle Creator Boys song. And you guys know that here, in the jams and stuff, we always talk about the Kyle Creator Boys. One of my, biggest influences. But moving here in '92 and getting into the ukulele about 4th, 5th grade and stuff. I was towards kind of the end part of Kyle Creative Boys, so I did not get to see them live. I know you have, right? You saw Kyle Creative Boys live.
Yeah.
When I saw Kyle Creative Boys live, actually, it was kind of funny because me and my dad, we saw like a poster saying Kyle Creative Boys live or whatever. I was like, oh, right on, like on Kauai.
Which
it was
rare.
Yeah, it was at the Sheraton, and when I went, it was Ernie Cruz Jr. and BB Sean, and I was like, doesn't look like Troy Fernandez at all, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, you know, I guess like, all right. So it was like a special, you know, like a special Kyle Creative Boys duo at that time. And I mean, I'm still an ukulele fan, so I sat down and I listened and stuff. And BB Sean was, I mean, he's amazing. Yeah, Sean Nishimoto, of course, or Ishimoto. Amazing musician, not just an ukulele player, but they were playing the classics, and he had all the you know, he did all the Kyle Creative Boys licks and stuff.
Really?
And I remember that's the first time I heard Mrs. Robinson by who's that, Paul what's his name? Simon Garfunkel.
Yeah,
Simon Garfunkel song, and he was just ripping it up on the ukulele. I was like, you really can't play anything on that, you know, on ukulele.
Uh-huh.
But one of the major ukulele heroes that I had was definitely Pure Heart. Okay, so what Aaron is talking about is when we were younger, there used to be this show called Hot Hawaiian Nights. All right, and I believe on YouTube I have found the Kyle Creative Boys Hot Hawaiian Nights.
Yeah. So it was like a live performance
Yes.
at a restaurant.
At a
usually.
restaurant, yeah, and then they would perform for it's like an hour set. Yeah, and they would perform. They would do
local
music.
musicians
Yeah,
playing.
and as somebody from Kauai, because if you guys don't know, like the islands, you know, there's islands, right? So we're from Kauai. We're kind of like the countryside of Hawaii, and all the cool and great musicians play live over on the island of Oahu. But so sometimes we get people to come here and you know, put on some live performances, but for the most part, they're kind of separated from us, you know, like all the live musicians or the great like professional musicians were all on Oahu. Okay, we had some here, you know, like we had like members from Kalapana who lives over here on Kauai, but they play mostly on Oahu. Anyway, so I caught the Hot Hawaiian Nights Pure Heart episode. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, they would play it and they would replay it again on the weekend. So I caught it. I think like when it aired, it must have been Wednesday or Thursday night, and it aired. I'm like, oh my god, everybody, it's Pure Heart. Pure Heart is playing on TV right now. So I told my parents, I'm like, I need the TV on Saturday, 6 o'clock.
Because you knew when
when it was going to replay.
Yeah.
You know, back then it was very reliable. So I had my VHS tape ready, like to tape it. It was on K5, the home team, and you know. So I watched the performance, and it blew my mind. It blew my mind hole. Just because I've listened to, you know, to Pure Heart, Jake, John Lopaka on the radio and stuff, and on CDs. I had their CD. I was a big fan, but I've never seen them play live. Like I wanted to see Jake play these licks that I've been listening to for hours.
Was he actually doing it?
Because I'm like, you know, I'm like a little kid. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, oh yeah, I got it. This is how it's done and stuff. And when I watched him on that program, I was like, this is it. This is like next level ukulele, because everyone had that kind of Troy Fernandez style. That's why I brought him up first. Everyone was playing like Troy Fernandez. This is like a style that is just unheard of. It's like kind of flamenco rock, you know, and like Hawaiian still. And I was just blown away. So I had that on tape. And this is what started. That's like Genesis. You know, if people are like familiar with the Bible, there's like the book of Genesis. That was where it started. And then I kept adding on and adding on. Every time I would see something on TV that, you know, that I wanted to kind of have in my collection as part of my Ukulele Bible, this VHS tape. So, you know, after that, I caught like a live performance from the new Pure Heart, because that was shortly after that. I think they broke up Pure Heart. You know, like I think the Christmas album came out that Christmas, and then the following year they were done.
So Hot Hawaiian Nights happened after the second album, or
yes, after the
Christmas album?
Yeah. No, after the second album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then their Christmas album was about to come out. I think that's why they did it. I believe that was either October or November, and then their Christmas album came out of course, in November, December.
Yeah.
So, I watched this tape, like, I can't even exaggerate, like hundreds of hours. Like, I would just study everything that Jake did in that videotape. So if people are like, and I got this comment a lot, and I got it often, especially here on Kauai, because everyone plays the Kyle Crater Boys kind of style and stuff. When I was doing Jake's, like Jake's song, I was a big fan. They're like, oh, he's like a Jake wannabe, and he sounds just like Jake. I'm like, yeah, thank you, because that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for. I was trying to be like with me and my friends, try to be the next Pure Heart.
Yeah.
That's we were kids. We're not like, we didn't care about originality or whatever. Like we just wanted to play what was on the radio. Like what's wrong with that, right? Everyone wants to play like what they hear, but. I caught a performance of the new Pure Heart with Guy Cruz, when they were still performing as Pure Heart before they changed their name to Cologne. And that was the first time, they were playing over at Kahili Adventist School here on Kauai. Yeah. And they had a May Day, and I caught that and I recorded that.
So you recorded that with like a video camera or something?
No. It was on TV.
Oh,
it was part of the show, local show called Vala'au.
Oh, okay. So
and Vala'au was like, it was a local show hosted by Dickie Chang. And he would go around, like these events around Kauai, and he would film it, and they would kind of show. It's kind of like a local show, like what's going on around the island and stuff. Mm-hmm. And Pure Heart was playing. I recorded that, and then because I knew when the replays would happen,
Yeah.
And then I had a band, and I had a Super 8 video camera, mm-hmm. and all like my first few performances with Makalea, the band, you guys have seen Mark Baldonado here on the show before. It's him, Ryan Isaki, and Mike Fernandez. The four of us were we're a band. We were trying to be the next Pure Heart. We had two ukulele players. That was what was different about us. We had two uke players dueling ukulele players. They're like, this is the show right here. We were gonna come from all around the world, watch this dueling ukulele show. But and then Mark's like, I want to play drums now, so he started playing drums instead.
Yeah.
But and I had that. I even have the first time I met those guys, which is I guess 2000, the ukulele competition, which was also featured on Vala'au. So that performance where I lost to Mark Baldonado, I had that on the same tape. So that tape had everything, from the Pure Heart performance, which was the first thing on that videotape, to all the, and then Jake came over and he performed at Borders, and I came with my friend Stacy, and she and I like filmed that. I introduced myself to Jake. I was young, I'm like I had no shame. I still have no shame. And I just went up to Jake. I'm like, Jake, I'm your biggest fan. I'm Aldrine Guerrero, And he's like, hey, you want to what do you know how to play? I was like, I love body surfing. So he's like, hey, you want to play body surfing with me on stage? I'm like, hell yeah. And I'm just like some scrappy,
he didn't even know
kid.
if you could play.
Yes.
Right?
He did it. He's just like, let's just do it. So we practiced it on the side. He's like, you want to go over it and stuff? I'm like, sure. So we went over it. And he's like, oh, and no, he didn't even say that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play this part, and you play the next. Yeah, I was still I'm like, I'm a young, like 17-year-old, 16-year-old, and I just, I'm like, oh my god, I'm jamming my hero. It's like, okay, you play this part, and I'll play that part. Jake is like, oh, okay, all right, So he and I played, and I have that on video. And then and all these other performances. There was a documentary with like Jake Shimabukuro, with Peter Moon, who is part of the Sunday Manoa, and also the Peter Moon band, and Kelly Boy de Lima, which is now a Kanilea brother, and they did this television special, which was like the three distinct styles of ukulele, whereas Peter Moon was at like old school style. So if because I like Troy Fernandez got that style from Peter Moon, from Eddie Kamai, like all those guys. That's where that style came from. And then Kelly Boy DeLima was doing the the vocals part. He also is a ripper shredder in the ukulele, but it's more like kind of singer, like ukulele player kind of thing. And then of course Jake, which is like the new generation at that time. It's like three different generations of ukulele players. I had that on that same tape also, and I would just watch that tape over and over and over and over.
I think that segment might be available on YouTube.
Is it?
Still.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
nice,
you might
nice.
be able to see that. But the Hot Hawaiian Nights with Pure Heart is not available.
It's not. It is a lost media at this point. I don't know if K5 still has that or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe John Yamasato has a copy of that somewhere. But go ahead.
Oh, well, what happened to that tape?
Oh, so that tape, after I moved out for college, I moved over to the island of Oahu because, like I said, that's where everything happens, right? So if I wanted to make a career out of playing ukulele, or or if I wanted to go to a school that was like, that was with other people, that was kind of, like as a stepping stone and making contacts and stuff, you would have to go to school over on Oahu, and I did. So many years went by, and of course, not cassette. Keep wanting to say cassette, but VHS in general, just kind of took over by DVD. DVD became a thing, and then Blu-ray now, So it just was stuck at my parents' house, and my parents, are like they're not. They're not the best at making sure things are clean, and maintenance and stuff. So that tape just sat there for a decade. And this is my Ukulele Bible. This is something that I watched for hundreds, maybe thousands of hours, And people say 10,000 hours before you master something and stuff. I put in tons of hours watching, studying everything that was on that video. And I lost it. But before I left, or before I moved out to go to live in Kapaa here, on Kauai, I had my friend. Was it Mark or is it you that did it? Somebody did it. I think Mark.
Mark.
So our friend Mark Baldwin, the one we were talking about, he had a way to take my VHS tape and rip the video from the VHS tape onto a DVD. Or onto his hard drive or whatever, put it into DVD. So I had a copy of at least that Pure Heart performance, not everything else on the DVD, because Mark was really only interested in that one, right? Uh-huh. So all the other stuff was just lost. All that is lost. That's lost media. My performances with Makalea and all that whatnot. I wish I had it. It's one of those things, kids. If keep everything that you can, because you just never know. You just never know. And these are one of those things that I wish I still had.
They can store it on the cloud now.
Yeah, I guess so. But back, a lot of people are like, oh, I had that Charizard card or whatever. I had that Charizard card.
Yeah.
I had that Blue Eyes White Dragon card. I had all that stuff. And guess what? It's gone. Just hold on to your stuff. I was not really a sentimental person up until I was older, and now I know the importance and the value of these memories. I don't know, as I'm older, I now understand that I have a finite time on this earth, and I always kind of thought of it like this, where when I was growing up, I was the one on stage and just kind of performing on this stage called life, yeah? But once my kid was born, my job is now to set that stage up for my kid instead. So it's no longer about me, it's about the next generations, because that's the one that's going to take the stage next, And one of those, and it's one of those times where I'm like, I wish I had, these mementos and these things that kind of remind me of where I came from. So later on in life, when I started touring, around the world, all the posters for festivals and stuff like that, I would take those and I would have all my friends who are part of the musicians, the festivals, all sign it. So I have signed posters of everywhere that I've been all around the world, and that's something that I can show to my daughter and just kind of inspire them to kind of not even to play music, but just to inspire them to chase whatever their dream is. Yeah, because I did, and that's what happened. So I was then looking for that DVD because I'm like, I'm in the mood to watch me some Pure Heart from Jake Shimabukuro, Lopaka Colon, and John Yamasato. And it was gone. I looked up my all the hard drives that I have. I'm like, maybe I burnt it into a hard drive. Maybe I have it saved somewhere. Did not have it saved anywhere. And then I was a sad panda. And then I came to work yesterday for the Ukulele Underground open mic, and Aaron greeted me with like, Aldrine, I have some fantastic news. And then go ahead.
Yeah, so it must have been maybe about 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
I asked to borrow that DVD from you, and then I burnt a copy for myself just to have.
Yeah.
And at some point, like I put it into my computer and it wasn't playing. It didn't work. And so I assumed that it was just like, maybe it didn't convert correctly or didn't burn correctly. But I had kept it in because I have two, like a copy of Pure Heart, the first album, and Pure Heart 2, the second album. And it was in Pure Heart 2, like I guess I still had the disc, but I assumed that it wasn't working.
Yeah.
And so Kahai and I were talking about some Pure Heart songs. And so yesterday I went over to this CD rack behind Aldrine and I pulled out the Pure Heart CDs and I was looking through the liner notes. And then I came across that disc that I assumed was not working anymore.
Yeah.
And just on a fluke, I was like, I don't have a computer that has a disc drive, so I'm gonna try pop it into my DVD player, and it worked. The one that's attached to I have like a tiny TV that has a DVD player. Popped it in, and it worked. And so I was like, oh my gosh, Aldrine is gonna be so happy just because we have at least one copy that works, and it still has like, because it was transferred from VHS to DVD, it has like the scan lines from the VHS player, and like it's like you could tell that Aldrine had watched it many times because it was
seriously it played every day at my house.
Yeah.
And my parents, like, God bless them, like they let me. They just, they knew, I don't know, like some kids would just, I guess nowadays would watch YouTube and like, oh, they just get them out of my hair or whatever, or like back then, I guess kids had Barney and they're like, just put Barney on and it just kept them entertained for hours. That was my one tape. And like that one tape kept me entertained for hours, and I'm so happy. Aaron,
So I didn't watch through the entire thing, but at least there is the Hot Hawaiian Nights of Pure Heart on there, and so we'll carefully try to make another copy of it so that we at least have two copies. And who knows, we may try to figure out
upload it. So, but it's so good. So the show that we have now, Aaron and I, as we know it, has evolved, of course. But it really stems from that performance. If you watch that performance, you're gonna understand it. Like, oh yeah, that's where like Aldrine got this thing. That's why they play this song, or that's that one little riff that he does here, or that's that technique that he does. That's it. Like that one performance alone, I feel like is worth, I don't know, 10 years of private lessons, like because really that's what it fast-tracked me from being just like a regular ukulele player to somebody who's taking the ukulele seriously. Because the way that Jake approached the ukulele back then, it was so groundbreaking, and he's still doing it now, but it's just so groundbreaking. And there was no media out there that could be consumed that way, like if you missed it, you missed it. Like that was something you maybe just watched one time, but I got smart. I'm like, I'm gonna record this because this is something that I want to keep for myself, And I just watched it. There was no tabs. There was none of that stuff. Like there was no online lessons or whatever. It's just me sitting in front of my TV, rewinding, pressing play, rewinding, pressing play. What is he doing? Where is his fingers? And that time that I brought up, when I met him over at Borders, like when I first met him, I'm like, hi, I'm Aldrine, let's go jam and stuff. By the way, I watched that video of you guys playing over at, at Hot Hawaiian Nights, and there's this part that I just can't get. It was parallel octaves. Because my ears, I'm like, it's not a chord. What is, so this is parallel octaves. So I'm like, what is he doing? Like, and from the way that I see it, it just kind of looks like this chord, I thought it was that chord. So I was playing it that way. I'm like, no, it sounds so off. Like, why does it sound off? And why is he able to move it up and down without changing the chord? Because it's going. I'm like, what is that? So there's no tutorial or whatever for it. I just had to figure it out myself. But luckily, I stalked Jake for a little bit and hunted him down.
Was that the part where the camera cut away? That's why?
No. It was, you could see it, and that's why I'm seeing his fingers. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, that doesn't make sense, And I asked him, like, yo, what is that thing? Like, I've been trying, I've been pulling my hair out, figuring out what that is. He's like, oh, it's he called it just octaves. He didn't even say parallel octaves. This is octaves, like an octave strum. He's like, okay, so you mute this, and then so that you're left with just. And I even do it exactly like how he does, because this is how he does it. And most people use their ring finger to mute the E string. But since I was like a Jake wannabe, I played it just like how Jake does, which using the pointer finger to mute the E string.
Oh.
And I was so happy when he taught me that. And
Unlocked.
Yes, achievement unlocked. Yeah. Achievement unlocked. And there was another question that I had. I'm like, Jake, there's during that performance, it was Stormy Monday. Mm-hmm. And he's doing this tapping thing, and that's when the camera cut away.
Oh, that's.
And I'm just like, whoa, what is he? What does that sound? It sounds like twinkles, It sounded like twinkles. It's just like he's doing this cool thing. And I'm just like, whoa, what the heck is that? What is that thing? And so the camera panned away. I'm like, what? I'm hearing it, but I can't see his hands. I can't see what is he doing? And so I asked Jake. What is it that he's doing there? And lo and behold, and because he did the same thing for Drift Away, which is why I brought up the Pure Heart performance over at Kalihi Adventist. Is it Kahili Adventist? Kahili Adventist. And that May Day, they were doing Drift Away, and he did the tapping for Drift Away. That's why when me and Aaron played Drift Away, just like how we did yesterday at the open mic, if you were there, you watched it. I did this. I did the same exact part, and listening to the Cologne album, which is that's eventually the album that they came up with. That made it on the final recording. That tapping on the ukulele. I think that was one of the first times it was recorded on the uke. I mean, I don't know about older ukulele stuff, but as far as from what I know, first ever time that it was recorded is the Cologne album in that song. And you also have that album, the Groove Machine. So we played Drift Away the same exact way, and I was really, really, really just trying to be like the next Jake or the next Pure Heart. I was looking for people to play music with. Even my old band, Puating, called Puating, Puating, Puating. So, and we had a song called Hamura Simon. If you guys have been over to Kauai, you know exactly where Hamura Simon is. I was the guy who sang the song for the radio. And our band, and I modeled that band after Makalea, which is the one with Mark Baldonado guys, which is modeled after Pure Heart, So we played basically that whole set. Like the set at Hot Hawaiian Nights. That's the set that we would play. Same thing with us. We would play Let's Get It On.
Still play
they played Let's Get It On first or second or something like that. And they went I can still remember the track list. It was Bring Me Your Cup, then it was Body Surfing, then it was a commercial, Then it was Let's Get It On. And it's kind of like, wow, Let's Get It On. That is a great tune. And so we started, me and Ryan started every performance that we did playing together with Let's Get It On, because that was the way for me to just kind of let out all my energy so that I would calm down for the rest of the set, you know? And after Let's Get It On, body surfing. That was like, that was our thing, because that's like Pure Heart started with Bring Your Cup and body surfing. We did Let's Get It On and then body surfing. So yeah, and I'm so stoked that you found that video again, because I can't wait to sink my teeth into it again.
Watch it again.
It is really my personal Ukulele Bible.
So what is the set list again? And then we'll check it and we'll see like is it exactly as you said it, right?
Yeah.
So.
Now it's either like Let's Get It On or like Cocaine, because they brought up a hula dancer. She did 2 songs, just Cocaine and then Molokai Sweet Home.
Can you try and like list out the set list now, like, and then
this is a lot of pressure. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Oh.
That's a lot of pressure. I'll tell you the songs they played, but I don't know if I can remember the order.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any riffs that Jake did that were like improvised that you still use today?
The whole verse of body surfing, that whole thing, when it goes like down that. That right there.
Oh yeah.
This part. That's on Hot Hawaiian Nights.
Yeah, but
that
it's
was
not-
not on the album.
Oh, okay.
That on the album just goes. And then it got. It goes.
Yeah.
That's it. So all that extra stuff, Hot Hawaiian Nights. And then and then the second part that he did was actually it was that's on YouTube, but I put it on private. The second part, I played with Ryan and Jake over at Kapiolani Community College, and we did body surfing there. And then that the second verse that I do on stage live is the verse that he played from KCC, from Kapiolani Community College. So it's like it's a combination of first verse from Hot Hawaiian Nights, second verse was from that specific performance, and that's one of those things that like only I would know, so that second verse that that I play, it's like note for note, like
you videotape
Jake's,
that,
yes,
and then you just.
I had my friend Chino take my camera, videotape the whole thing, that whole performance.
Yeah.
So all that, and when we played Waiting in Vain, we did that right there. That's Jake doing those those riffs. And then when we started doing
just
it,
like improvised
yeah,
that, and then you took it and time capsuled it too.
Yeah, man. I'm like, Jake's not gonna remember it, and he's not ever gonna use it again, ever. What I mean? I'll take it. I'll run with it. I'll do something with it. So a lot of that stuff, and also Let's Get It On, because in the album he goes. Let's get it on.
Yeah.
That's the riff. The riff at Hot Hawaiian Nights. It's the same exact riff that we play.
We play every week.
Ripped it off. Ripped it off from Hot Hawaiian Nights, because who would know? Who would know, right? Who would know? So my whole thing, and that's for me, I feel like, I'm flattered every time somebody goes, oh, you're just like, you're just copying Jake. You're just like, yes, And I worked very hard to do so.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I worked very hard to have that same kind of stuff. Even like trying to get that tone that he has. It's just, if you're gonna model yourself over anyone, like just model yourself over like the best player in the world. I'm not ashamed to be like fanboying out to someone who's now my friend, And I don't care. Like I loved his approach on ukulele. I loved his style. I loved the way that he played. I loved his energy on stage. And just if you guys ever meet him, he's just the best person. Like just hands down. Like just the nicest, most like, I don't know, caring human that I've ever met.
Yeah. And then the cool thing too is
Yeah.
that we've seen and met people who have done basically the same thing
Yes.
with your videos
Oh
now.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are video covers of like Bandito Tyler and
Yeah,
all kinds of, and we've met kids who have asked you like, how do you do that one part in whatever one of your songs?
I have also gotten the questions of, oh, there's this live video that you did this thing that wasn't on the album. I'm like, oh my god, that's the question that like tugs at my heartstrings.
Because
I was that player.
Yeah.
I was that person. And same thing, like when after after I met Jake over at Borders. He gave me his email, which is I think is still his email, so I'm not gonna say it, which I think is still his email. And I emailed him, and I'm like, Jake, what strings do you use? So every time I get that question, what strings do you use, Aldrine? A lot of people are like, oh, like this question again. For me, it's like, no, I'll answer this question 1,000 million times because I was that kid who went up to
and
Jake.
He took the time to
because
to tell
he, like back when I was growing up, it was either like Kamaka strings, which is like GHS, Martin, or whatever Suji that you had, which is this like fishing line, that green kind of transparent like fishing line. And that was it. You had like no choices. And so here comes Jake, and normally I would be pretty familiar with the one kind of wound string, but he had 2 wound strings on that performance. the Hot Hawaiian Nights. So you guys can tell that I'm like super. I'm very into this. He had 2 wound strings. I don't even know what they were made of, but I'm like, what are those strings? So I looked everywhere. Of course, we only had like 2 music shops here on Kauai, and none of them had it. So I had to email him like, Jake, I gotta know what strings do you use? He's like, oh, it's Savarez strings. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy some Savarez strings. I'm gonna put it on my then like Novation ukulele, and even have a Kamaka and stuff.
One set of Savarez ukulele strings, please.
My journey to sound like Jake Shimabukuro, Yeah. So I mean,
at least at the time, that was not possible.
So I had, I was going out with this person in high school, and her family would go to Maui a lot. And at the Maui music store, they carried the Savarez strings. They even carried like these rainbow strings, which is basically like, how Savarez strings are like plastic wound, It's like all plastic wound strings, and they were like a rainbow colored. I even had those, but I'm like, nah, it doesn't sound like Jake's. It doesn't sound like Jake's. I want to sound like Jake.
Color.
It's not the same color, yo. What am I, an amateur?
Wasn't there a story about you putting like 2 C strings though on? Because it's like both.
Oh yeah,
wound.
that's right. Because I was trying to figure out what those strings were.
Oh.
So I had put 2 aluminum wound strings on my ukulele, thinking that's what he did.
Before you emailed him?
Oh my god, I ruined my ukulele that way because the tension was so high on the E, and it kept breaking all the time. I'm like, how is it that on the Hot Hawaiian Nights, performance, you would just bend that string? I'm like, I could barely bend this because I tuned that that C string to an E. So it was like, how is he doing that? Is he just that good? Because I can't for the life of me bend this string that well. And that's kind of where it all started. Like that's how the inspiration that's just striked out of nowhere. Like it just, I don't know. Like that's what made me believe that like the ukulele was like this serious instrument that like could bring that much joy, because that's the kind of joy that it brought me as a kid. I'm like, I lit up, I'm like, that is insane. And the second song was body surfing, and I already kind of knew how to play body surfing, but I saw that performance and I'm like, what is this? This blows my mind. Look how fast his hands are, you know? Look how fast his hands are. And he did body surfing again. With Pure Heart, I guess on the high sessions and stuff, and it's like, I mean, it's maybe like 20 BPM slower, you know, than the hot, because the hot Hawaiian Nights one was like,
they were kids.
It was
They
like,
were like,
my goodness, it
were
was just
probably
blazing
nervous.
fast, you know.
Yeah.
And it's so good, so good, so good. And then they played what is that, Wipeout, and we also used to play Wipeout, you know, back in the day and stuff. And I remember like Lopaka brought out his boo bands. I didn't even know what that was, but I knew what it was because I watched the show and he said, I'm gonna bring out my boo bands for this for this song. So good. So good. They had audience participation. So I like also learned how to be a showman, you know, like from watching that. And Jake back in, and I mean, he still is, you know, very high, very energetic kind of performance stuff. But back then, he was really hamming it up, you know, because John Yamasato would just kind of he would play the straight man and just kind of, you know, do the guitar and sing thing and stuff. He would move too. It's not like he wasn't moving or anything, but compared to Jake, he was, you know, he was a tree. he was just standing still. And yeah, I'm like, that's how you do it, I guess, you know, like, and it like made me want to like get up and cheer and jam and stuff, because that's, I don't know, like it was through television, but like the energy just like it went through and it touched me, you know. I'm just like, this is insane. And that's when I decided, I'm like, I'm taking the ukulele seriously. I was a clarinet player, I was a guitar player, I played ukulele every now and then and stuff, but that's when I'm like, that's it. That's what I want to play like. I want to play just like that. And we have a copy of that now. Oh my God, it's back. Oh.
I wanted you to like list out the song list, because I wanted to like go through it and then like cut it next to you, where it's like when you're saying the songs, right, it's like you got this one, you got this one, and you did. But then like even when you're like saying like, okay, there's a commercial break, it's like I think we should like show that like he knows there's a commercial break. And what did he say? Boo bands? Like when that well it's like
and
this guy knows it. He's not lying. He knows it.
And then there's like Europa that was on there. Oh man, like so if all the stuff that we do, you know, that we do now, a lot of it was from that, you know, from that performance. And like, and because I knew the impact that it had on me, I felt like if I played those songs in that same way, I would be impacting people the same. And I was absolutely right. You know, like with our performances, people are just like, wow, like that, I can't believe the ukulele sounds like that. I've never heard ukulele sound that way before, because that's the same exact words that came out of my mouth. You know, when I was watching it for the first time, I'm like, I can't believe the sounds I'm hearing out of that ukulele. Like, and I don't know. I am not ashamed to just fanboy out on Jake. And that, I know every time I do it, and I still do it to Jake, you know, every now and then when we hang out and stuff, he's like, come on, man. Like, you're just being nice.
How many years have you known?
Like, because I even said that. I'm like, hey, I was watching some of the older stuff. I think there was a body surfing performance like from Aloha that I found on YouTube. I'm like, man, you guys like never age, yeah? And he's like, man, you're just being nice, Aldrine. Like, you know, I'm like, man, you sound, you know, and you play like a lot better now, but like you still have the same kind of energy. Like, oh, come on, you know, like, I don't. That guy is too nice. Yeah, he's too nice. Like, no, Aldrine, you're just being too nice. Like, no, I'm like the ultimate fanboy, man. So, yeah. And when we went back, because I guess I was, you weren't there with me, were you?
What was that?
The time Pure Heart was here a few months ago.
No.
Okay. So Pure Heart was here, I want to say January, like early January, because my wife was like right at that time where she was right about to give birth. You know? And Jake's like, hey, are you coming to our show? I'm like, heck yeah, I'm coming. I'm not going to miss out a Pure Heart show in my backyard, you know? I'm the biggest Pure Heart fan. So I was like, okay, cool, I got some tickets for you. You can come down. I'm like, awesome, Uncle Jake, like hooking it up, you know? So I take my wife, my kid, my wife who was like 8.5 months pregnant. And I was telling Jake, like, oh, my wife's super pregnant, so if we got, if we gotta go for some reason, like you know why. And he's like, oh, it's too bad my wife didn't come because she's a she's an OB. So I'm like, what? Man, if she was there, just deliver my baby at a Pure Heart concert. Like, that would be the best case scenario.
My dreams come true.
That's my dream. Oh my God, why didn't you bring your wife with you, Jake? My daughter being born at a Pure Heart concert that's it. You know, that's.
I was like, we have time to get to the hospital. No, you're gonna stay here.
It's that joke, like, right, where he's like, Dad, why did you name me Rose? Oh, it's because when you're born, a rose fell on my head. And then it's like, how can I get over it? Ask me the same question.
I was joking with Jake. I'm like, what? My kid being born out of Pure Heart concert would be like the ultimate fan service. You know, like that's no one else can say that their kid was born out of Pure Heart concert. That was gonna be my claim to fame as a Pure Heart fan, but. Yeah, it was pretty funny. But my mother-in-law was visiting because she was here for the first couple weeks of my kid being born and stuff. And like she's never seen Jake live. You know, she's I guess watched him on YouTube and whatever. But I'm like, oh, you don't even know. And it's Pure Heart. I'm like, oh, I'm just like watching her reaction. You know, of course I'm watching Pure Heart, but I'm like looking at her and just mouth on the floor. She's like, what did he bring me to? And I felt super cool because like I knew the band, you know, like we went in the back and visited them and stuff.
No
and
big
like
deal.
I know, no big deal, whatever. Just gonna go see my friend Jake, John, and Lopaka. You know, we're friends and stuff.
Everybody keep cool.
But yeah, even though we're all friends now, we're peers. Now those are my peers, you know? And I still can't help but like get that like, you know, that thump like when I'm like near them and I just like feel shame, you know? Like, oh yeah, we play your songs at our shows. It's like, are you like an international artist? Like, yeah. Yeah, we play it at international stages.
Cover artist. Pure Heart cover artist.
I hope I'm not outing something.
Yeah.
Didn't you ask them to sign something at that show?
At that show?
Yeah.
No, not at the recent show. Not the recent show.
Oh, okay.
No.
But because you showed
sign my baby.
Right? Yeah. Deliver my baby and sign it, please.
And sign it with a Sharpie. But no, I have a. The first time they performed backs together, it was at a Jake Shimabukuro concert at the Hawaii Theater. And I went to that. I'm like, Pure Heart reuniting after like, I don't know, 15 whatever years, you know? Like, that is something that I need to be a part of. So I actually called up Mark Baldonado. I was like, Mark, yo, Pure Heart's playing at, you know, we can't miss this. There's a Pure Heart cover band. We gotta go, right? It's like our dude is Mecca that we gotta make a pilgrimage to, you know? So I told him, I'm like, don't worry about it. Like I got a hotel room and stuff. If you need a hotel room just to crash at, whatever. And of course, you know, I was like with my now wife, with my girlfriend, it's like, you told Mark he could crash with us? I'm like, yeah, Pure Heart buddies for life, man.
Yeah.
My wife is like, oh, I don't know.
He's more important in my life storyline than you are.
I was gonna say like, yeah, if he wants to stay here, he can. If you don't want to stay here, then you gotta go find another room.
Yeah. So I'm just like, yeah, Mark's crashing with us. Oh no, you want this? It's cool. It's cool, right? It's cool. It's like, well, you already told him he can crash with us. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Okay, great.
Poor Heather is like, this is my husband, and this is my husband's husband too.
Cause she thought like, you know, we're gonna go to Oahu, have like a good time, go like shopping, do all this stuff and whatever. I'm like, no, I'm there for one thing. So anyway, I bring that up because I got the poster for that event and I had it signed by John, Jake, and Lopaka. And I'm like, can you guys sign? And Jake's like, why, dude? Like, why? And even John, too, is like, why? Like, I'm like, yo, come on, guys. Can you just please don't embarrass me? Just
be cool.
Be cool, please. Please, I need this on my wall. Just please, be cool. So, and they were signing it and stuff. And here's a little confession, okay? The one of the people who was like running the show, came up to me because she saw me like getting my poster signed and was like, actually, you know, the artist who made that poster, like I guess who designed the poster or who drew the picture or whatever, she's over there. You should get her to sign it. I'm like, no, I'm good. Is she part of Pure Heart? Yeah, did she play tambourine? Whatever. No, I'm good. It's a nice picture, great picture, but just
you turn it over and it's like, can you sign in the corner, maybe? Like maybe a little bit smaller. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
It was kind of funny because she's like, she should get her signature. She designed a poster. I'm like, I'm good.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's good job. Yeah, good chops. It's nice.
Made them look good.
Very good handwriting. That was the autograph that I was talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it's we of course we went backstage and we like took a picture and stuff and our usual like everyone likes me and Pure Heart together. But yeah, I'm the biggest Pure Heart fan. But if you find it on YouTube, if you find that performance on YouTube, then you find that performance because maybe somebody will upload it. That's maybe it's us, maybe it's someone else, who knows. But if you somehow stumble across it, we might post a link. If we come across it, we might post a link of whoever wherever that is that person will upload it to. Okay?
Marin Makamura strikes again.
Marin Makamura, the Marin Makamura YouTube channel will upload Hot Hawaiian Nights. And seriously, if you're an ukulele fan, you should watch it. Watch it.
Why does this just look like Aaron wearing a mustache? Why does this thumbnail just look?
Yeah, that's my Ukulele Bible story. So I wish I had the rest of it because the rest of it is also awesome. Like I said, there's that documentary. Oh, there's also like Namele, which is like Jake, Byron Yasui, Gordon Mark, and Benny Chong.
Oh,
it was like the four, that was another one. Like all four of them, did
Wait, how long is this VHS tape?
Well, if you put it for long playing VHS tape, it would go up to 6 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it was low quality.
Yeah,
it's low. You could sacrifice quality for just longer video.
Yeah.
Like it's just a slower, slower run rate. Yeah. So either 2 hours, good quality, or 6 hours. So it was that whole 6 hours was full of ukulele gold. When you're telling us this, I was like, this sounds more like a holy grail than a Bible because it just has there's some stuff in there, right, that it's nowhere else. So that's how I got good, Kai. I drank from that cup.
And you didn't turn to dust, right?
And the thing is, when I was and Mark came from the same school because Mark also, watched that video. I think he had it on tape also. Mm-hmm. I remember talking with Kale Gamiao. He's also seen that, that video.
Which
so this is this is something that a lot of us, ukulele players growing up in Hawaii was like, this is it. This is the performance, There's that Hell Freezes Over performance by the Eagles, and people always refer to that one as that's a quintessential Eagles, live performance. This was that was the Hell Freezes Over of ukulele, you would watch that and just be amazed and inspired and just I can't wait. I'm so happy that you found that.
Instead of whoever puts it up on YouTube, maybe we should make it like the real book where it's you have to go to the shop and be like, can I buy something? And it's a burnt DVD, right? Or it's a thumb drive we slide to you. And it's
here, go study. Yeah, I mean it's that was basically my Ukulele Bible. That was it. I use that term because I think Jake was saying that back then, there were ukulele Bibles. There was the how to play ukuleles that in the ukulele books, that these guys had, and according to him, that was his ukulele Bibles because TV shows and recording TV shows wasn't a thing back then, so you had to resort to books or CDs or I guess cassettes, 8-tracks and records that you would just wear out the needle trying to and I did that too,
Yeah.
With Kyle Creative Voices or in Pure Heart albums. I would just listen to those albums over and over, try to just using my ear, and that's how I developed my ear. But it wasn't until that video showed up where I'm like, oh my God, now I get to see like what it is that he's doing with the ukulele, and it was just mind blowing, mind blowing. Even to this day, I think to this day, you watch if they play that exact show, it would still be like head over shoulders over people. You know, like it's.
And that's part of the reason why we even started Ukulele Underground or doing online video lessons was because we wanted to create something that we wished that we had.
Yes.
You know, like what if there was an ukulele player that was just showing exactly what the techniques that he was doing or using, then
yeah, why not us? Why not us?
Yeah.
Why not us? And that's why we did it. You know, like I think there were like websites up, but it wasn't like anybody from Hawaii parallel octaves. And shout out to that to Jake Shimabukuro teaching like a young high school kid how to do that, because like a decade later, half a decade later, like he's doing ukulele online tutorials showing exactly what was shown. And that's why I wanted to be that. I wanted to be not just Jake, but as as inspiring as Jake was to like other people, because I feel like people should get to know this instrument, should love it, and because it's been such a great friend to me, like. And I've had people come and go in my life, but ukulele has been the one thing that's constant, that has consistently made me happy. And those feelings that I got from watching that performance, it's indescribable. So I really,
Like, you have two loves in life, right? Ukulele and Mark Baldonado.
My best friend, y'all.
Yeah, I love my family. I love my my children, my wife and stuff. But like something that's always been there for me is my ukulele. It's just seriously like my best friend.
Even when nobody else likes me.
Isn't that the whole idea of the love song, right?
Yeah.
Riding the bus, looking over. It's like,
right. Yeah. That's old school Ukulele Underground. We came out of the gate with love song.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been quite a journey, but hopefully someone will upload that and you guys can check it out. And if somebody does upload that, we'll make sure to share the links with you folks, because that is something I feel like everyone should check out, because it's lost media at this point, and it's just a shame because it is the one performance that really like lit a fire in me that like, man, that is what I want to do, because I know we've talked about this before, but we started playing music and playing in bands and stuff because when we listened to the radio, it's like, oh yeah, we could play those chords, we could sing that song, it was doable. It was like me and my friends could do that or whatever. Like somebody could play bass, somebody play guitar, play drums and whatever. That's like every Hawaiian song was easily achievable because there were just 4 chords. If you could sing well, like you could be a band. But then here came like Pure Heart, who is just something completely original, something completely different, and it's just is playing some really complicated stuff, and there was hate I remember in the beginning, like people either really loved Pure Heart or you didn't get it. Like there was those people like in high school, and like me trying to be the next Pure Heart, trying to be the next Jake. For them, it's just like, look at that, he's just like showing off. He's just like trying to be too good, Mr. Too Good guy, So because everyone's playing Hawaiian, everyone's playing reggae and stuff, everyone wants to play the 4 chords, and I was actually like, and still am, kind of an outcast here, like in the Kauai music scene. Like I want to jam with people. I want to like I want to perform with like all my other friends and stuff, but who are also musicians. But I don't know, like it's just a difference in in growing up and in taste and stuff. So I have my core friends that I play music with, and that's it. But yeah, everybody else plays together, like plays music with each other here on Kauai. But for some reason, like my phone never rings because people are like, Mr. Jake Wannabe, that guy, And I get it, but whatever. Like I'm doing me. Aaron wants to play with me, and that's cool, This is, God forbid that when the day that he's like, Mr. Jake guy over there.
I think I'm perfect because like I don't want the spotlight.
Shine it on me, baby.
Aldrine
Shine it on
takes
me,
up
baby.
enough of the spotlight for.
Let me bathe in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that's it right there. That's the one. It's the ukulele, Aldrine's Ukulele Video Bible. Hopefully someone uploads it on YouTube. Hopefully. Or we're just hyping it up and talking about it, and it never shows up, and it really is just lost media, you know.
I hope it's like kids watch that and they're like, "What? Why does like the video like it looks like it keeps like scrolling up? And it looks like it's like there's something happening." Or
you should like write a letter, make a petition or something, write a letter, change.org if you would, and write a letter to K5, and just say, hey, can you guys upload the Hot Hawaiian Nights Pure Heart episode? I know you guys have it in your archives because, I don't know, someone's got it, right? And just ask for that if we can't, somehow upload it, but we'll find a way. But yeah, it's see, I talked for an hour. I could talk for 5 hours about this, going like song per song kind of detail and stuff. It really is the best ukulele performance I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen tons at this point, Like I've seen James Hill doing the chopsticks thing for the first time over on Oahu at at the Ukulele Festival. That's a iconic performance.
Yep.
And I saw the Pure Heart reunion. I've seen tons of great and iconic ukulele performances, but nothing will top that for me. For me, that will always be the best performance ever. Even just maybe not even ukulele. I feel like best musical performance in general. It looked like just three dudes having fun. Mm-hmm. And there was just an audience, just so happened for people to watch it,
Yeah.
And that's. And if you guys have seen to any of our shows, that's how I conduct myself on stage. It just seems like me and Aaron are just jamming on stage, without, there's no set list, no whatever. When we sound check, it's not even okay, and everything's just gotta be perfect, everything's gotta be right, and the lights gotta do this, and the banner's gonna do that. No, it's just we plug in. Does that sound okay? Can you guys hear that? All right.
Yep.
Starts out with a Pure Heart song, So
with the starting song. Right?
No, well that was their last song.
Oh
yeah. So the song they started with was Bring Me Your Cup. They
ended with, yeah.
They ended with How Can I Get Over? You know that much. But yeah, I just watched it hundreds of times, maybe thousands of times. It was a lot. It was a lot. Sometimes twice a day. Sometimes 3 times a day. It was a weekend or something, Seriously obsessed with that video.
That's pretty amazing that VHS survived.
Oh, it didn't, but the clip from that VHS survived somehow.
Yeah. Digitally. Is there any audio performance banter that you stole from that? Or do they really? They don't really engage the audience.
No, they do. I mean, Jake and John were talking and stuff, and good question.
Or where did you get some of my banter? On-stage jokes?
Oh, that was Volcano Joe's.
Yeah, but just you came.
That was I came up with a lot of that stuff, and other performers that I've seen throughout the years.
Yeah,
there's a joke that I tell all the time. We're like, oh. If you guys are interested, we have records and stuff. You guys could go check out our record over at Kauai Police Department. Or, that's kind of the joke. That's a Sean Ishimoto joke.
Yeah.
BB Sean came to E Kanikapila Kako here on Kauai, did a performance there, and he made that joke, and I'm like, I'm taking it. And I was 9th, 10th grade.
Still remember it.
Still remember it. I remember cracking up. I'm like, hilarious.
Yeah.
And a lot of the jokes that I tell on stage are just some jokes that I tried out during my open mic days over at University of Hawaii. There was an open mic at this place called Volcano Joe's, and I used to go there every Monday night. Every Monday night, that was it's almost like my whole week was comprised of just trying to get ready for Monday night, what songs I'm gonna jam on Monday. And Zaisha, half of Simple Souls over on Oahu. She was the host, and I'll get to jam with her. And she was like, she played with Kanalo. She was experienced. So I'm kind of like jamming with her and then kind of feeling her vibe. And yeah, it was the perfect learning ground of all the things that I eventually end up doing, like being on stage, how to talk to the audience, how to like kind of present myself and stuff, and how to build up a set list, how to kind of build people up, start out with maybe slow or start with something fast. It really depends on what do you say in between and whatever. And that was my professional beginnings. It was at a open mic, and then we would play at this place called On Stage in Kapahulu. I think they're still there. And that was a gig that was given to me by John Cruz, because John's like, I was talking with John Cruz. I'm like, yeah, I'm moving over to Oahu. He's like, hey, you looking for a gig? I was like, yes, I am. Like, you can play at this place called On Stage. They're looking for somebody to play, like I think like that month. And I'm like, oh, right on. John Cruz just hooked me up with a island style John Cruz. Hooked me up with that because you played there too, right? On stage?
Yeah.
You and your band. Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't like a hard place to get into, but I just thought it was cool, and it was very like meaningful that John was the one who got me that gig, But we played at the Kava Bar also at Diamond Head Cove, the health bar, which has the best acai bowl like ever anywhere in the world. Just really good. I played with Zaysha over there, the same person I was talking about. And other people who play there include like Imua Garza, John Cruz, Ernie Cruz, Guy Cruz, like all those guys. That was like a very like secret spot, So whenever Jake was in town, I'm like, hey Jake, you want to jam with me at Diamond Head Cove? And it was just like either me on ukulele, and I jump on guitar every now and then with Jake Shimabukuro. And we would like, do a set together. And it was good times. It was really good times. So yeah, my peers. But I still fanboy out every time, I hang out with them. Just like this all the time. Like, oh my God, what are they talking about? You're talking music? I know music. Can I talk with you guys about music? All right, so next question.
Now we start the actual podcast.
We start the podcast. Oh my God. Oh, you got me started, and I can't stop once we start talking about that subject. Just ukulele in general. And I'm glad you guys get to see this side of me where like I'm just excited about ukulele, and I really am. It's not something that I just picked up and went, I think I could teach this or whatever, like I think I could make lessons online. But like I've been in love with this instrument since I first played it when I was in the second grade. Like that's it. Like second grade, played it, fell in love with it, and then like really took it seriously in about 7th, 8th grade when I discovered that that performance. But yeah, this has been a lifelong journey for me, and yeah, I guess to end this is just thank you guys for listening to my story. This hour-long like gushing out for pure heart. But yeah, that's who I am, and just I put it all out there. I'm a very public person. I'm not really that private. I guess my private life with my family is private, but for the most part, like my life with the ukulele, it's all open. Like I've had MySpaces, I've had Instagrams, I've had Twitters where I just put everything out there. I love this instrument. I'm a fan of this instrument, just like how you guys are, and I have been so proud to be able to teach this instrument to you folks for over 16 years now, and I hope to continue on teaching this instrument and kind of spreading that love that I have for it. Okay, I'll see you folks next time. Next week. Yeah.
There's stuff we have to take care of.
Okay. Sorry, I thought that was like Jerry's final thoughts. Okay, go ahead.
We should set a deadline for the songwriting challenge.
Yes.
That hasn't been set yet. So.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, we have next week, and then with Sammy, and then maybe the week after
26.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the 26.
Okay, so that's the deadline for our songwriting challenge.
Okay, 26 is the deadline. What else?
Sam. So next week's podcast is gonna be earlier at 11.
Oh, also, the shirts. Let me just kind of talk about the shirts real quick because I wore the Ukulele Underground shirt last week. The new ones. Kaimana's calling them Sriracha Red, like the Sriracha Red Ukulele Underground shirts. Some sizes are sold out already, but I believe they're doing back orders for the next 2 weeks. But after that, once it's sold out, it's sold out. We're actually doing something this time where we're retiring the color. Okay? Yeah. So either you get it this time or they're gone. Because I think black we're gonna keep, but that Sriracha Red is going to be a special color that will only be printed this time. Okay, we're not doing reprints on Sriracha Red, or it's maroon, but Sriracha Red. We're gonna cut the. I guess they said 2 weeks, right? That's what they said.
Yeah. So what do they just like email us?
I guess you guys can if there's a size that you're looking for and it's sold out, email us at questions.
I thought Kaimana said like you can actually order. I think, and then
they'll just be back ordered for 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah, if you guys are having a hard time ordering it, you guys can contact us. Okay.
I think the sizes that are out are extra large and a double XL.
Double XL. Yeah.
And the other sizes I think should be okay for now, but if they run out, then
once they run, because they're also selling it at the Kanilea store over on Oahu, so there's multiple avenues for it. So it'll sell, eventually. But once it's done, for that particular color, it's done, and then we're gonna print another color. That's what we're gonna do. Because instead of just like it's tough to kind of like, we have this shirt in like 5-6 different colors. Yeah. And it's like, it's tough to sell all that.
I mean, that's kind of how we always did, like a limited run of special colors. So black will always sell.
Yes. We'll always have black. Yeah. But Sriracha Red, available for a limited time only. So pick it up now. Before it's gone, before it's in the vaults. It'll go in the vaults. I wish I bought 2 because I have 1. I think large is not out yet. I might buy another large and maybe do it under a different name. So I tried to buy that shirt and they refunded my money and they're like, you can't buy that shirt. I'm like, why? My money's good here, right? It's money, But yeah, so. Once that's done, it's done. So if you guys were on the fence about picking up a red Ukulele Underground shirt, now's the time to do it because once it's gone, it's gone. I apologize if you don't get one and you wanted one, but this is the warning. Yeah, so even if it's not, the size is not there, they will do back orders for the next 2 weeks, and once it's done, it's done. And then, I don't know. And also, maybe for those of you folks watching, leave a comment below of what color you guys like to see the shirts, or if there's a design that you kind of like to see. But for the most part, the classic Ukulele Underground bumper sticker, kind of shirt, it's gonna be in different colors. It's coming soon. Okay, so let us know in the comments below, not on the live chat. Okay, comments. Not in the live chat, comments below, because the live chat, I guess, disappears. But then the comments below will always be there. Comment below what color you'd like to see. Personally, royal purple. That's my jam. Okay? But let me know. Let me know what color you guys are looking for. Also mint green, but I have a mint green Ukulele Underground shirt. I have one already. So maybe don't print that so that only I can have. All right, we'll see you folks next time. Yes, what else?
Next week. Sammy.
Next week, Sammy, 11 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time.
That's 2 hours earlier than our normal.
Yeah. And well, it's gonna be great. Sammy is an expert of harmonics and just an ukulele music expert as well. I know he teaches in his town. He's a music teacher. So get your questions ready. May it be about harmonics or just music in general. Sammy's the kind of guy who can answer all of those questions. Okay, he's a music teacher, just like Mike. He's also a music teacher. Anything else?
Our
last minute questions? No.
We had a lot of questions, but we don't have time for them.
Sorry.
Do the just mention live coaching.
Okay,
Yeah.
Live coaching after this in about 5 minutes. Head over to the Ukulele Underground site. If you're a UU Plus member, we're going to be doing Ukulele Underground Plus live coaching. That's where you get your question answered, and we kind of see face to face. Let me know what you're working on, and I'll give you some advice. Okay, I'll see you folks next time. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Happy May Day. It's May Day today. May Day.
Boys' Day.
Huh? Also Boys Day.
Yeah.
Also Boys Day. Also Boys Day. And yeah, May Day's Lay Day in Hawaii. So happy May Day, everyone. Aloha.